mainly because of Christopher Reeve. And then we have one more Superman cameo. And this is the one that people will be talking about. Everyone thought the one that after I saw it, Christopher Reeve would be the one. Like, oh my God, you're bringing back this person from the dead. But somehow that's not the most talked about, probably, from this film. Nicolas goddamn Cage shows up as the Kevin Smith Superman that was tossed away, never got his own film. And not only does he have a little cameo here, he has an action sequence, Ricky. They gave him an action sequence and more than just a blip on the screen. I couldn't believe it. I love that decision. The infinite possibilities, what comes with the multiverse. I loved it.
This guy right here, Nick Cage, finally gets to play Superman. And I have a question for you. Do you think people will get it?
That's the thing, Ricky. This movie is very fun for DC hardcore fans.
Yeah, because I think there's a documentary. It's what was it called? The Death of Superman Lives. I think is the play on words of the movie that's supposed to be, which was Superman Lives. Because after the 1987 fourth Superman, I think Quest, whatever it's called,
Quest for Peace.
Quest for Peace. Thank you. They were like, we need to do a refresh of Superman. We need to do we need to do something.
Yeah,
and
reboot.
Tim Burton, hot name on the market in the 90s. All right. After Batman, it was like, oh, wait, what's that face?
Andy Muschietti is confirmed to be directing Batman the Brave and the Bold. Just came through.
Breaking news. But it was, so, right. So it's like, all right, what do we do here? Let's do Superman Lives. All right. Big comic. All right. We'll bring long hair. Who's the biggest star in Hollywood right now? Nick Cage. And who's an up-and-coming writer? Kevin Smith. This is all working out great. And it's new. Something we've never seen. Right. And John Peters gets in the way a little bit, per usual, maybe a lot of bit. And Dan Gilroy gets a pen, jumps on this script. Dan Gilroy, Andor fame for us, Nightcrawler. But this gets into chaotic hell, production hell, and John Peters gets in the way. Nick Cage is supposed to fight Brainiac, and John Peters was adamant about fighting this big ass spider. And there was
there's care that was put into that action sequence. It wasn't a random spider that was supposed to be in Superman Lives.
And I want to say the early 2010s, this is when the Nick Cage Superman photo got released. And the stills or the artwork, concept art of the movie got released, and it was the fighting the spider was one of them. And the deep knowledge of this to throw it in the movie, because all these other Supermen, they just had a big quick wave or stare down. We got to see something that we never seen before.
CGI didn't look bad either. There was way worse CGI in this movie than what we got with the Nick Cage moment.
Yeah, so and again, this movie, Sandra Bullock was supposed to be Lois Lane. Christopher Walken was supposed to be in it. I want to say Chris Rock was in talks. This movie was supposed to happen. So people that don't know, this movie could have been a big end of the 90s blockbuster, and just never happened, of course. But great callback, the best cameo in my opinion, and it didn't look terrible.
And it's just something about him not taking, meaning Andy Muschietti, the easy way out, the short route, where it's okay, Brandon Routh, people probably know him, 2006 Superman, Henry Cavill, everyone knows who he is. He decided to do what hardcore DC fans appreciate, and he has an appreciation for the history of these characters. And that's going to bring us to what went on with Batman here. So at the end of this film, Barry, after exonerating his father, with the help of Bruce Wayne, he gets a call from Bruce Wayne and expecting that meal that was teased at the beginning of the film, hey, let's grab dinner now. And there's a certain voice on the phone, but it doesn't sound like Ben Affleck. And then he meets him in front of the courthouse, but it's not the Bruce Wayne we've come to know in the DC Extended Universe. It instead is the one and only from Batman and Robin 1997, George Clooney steps out in full beard, shades, and then he reintroduces himself to Barry Allen. Ricky Flicks, You called this. I
Thank
will
you.
tip my cap to you. All right. Well done.
Thank
Um,
you.
this was definitely on the table after those events of the third act, and I'm totally unshocked by it. But if you told me I was seeing George Clooney before I walked into that theater, I would have called you crazy.
I know you did. You did call me crazy.
Yeah.
I He's been doing a lot of stuff. He's directing a couple movies coming and gonna be in a movie. Like he's doing a lot of stuff right now. Like it just made sense. And again, want to talk about arcs. Barry Allen, good arc. He can leave peacefully. Ezra Miller, he can leave peacefully. Michael Keaton in this movie can leave peacefully. Good
And he
arc to
never
his
got
story.
his future movies. He never got like to continue like the franchise that he
Right.
started.
Ben Affleck now has an escape route. Can leave peacefully.
Not a great swan song for him though. I don't
Yeah,
think
but
that's
he
done that
can
well.
leave. He can leave. This is an
There's no
escape.
loose ends.
Yeah, this is an escape. And then this for me, I had to do some internet dive in here before we jumped on. Just what people thought. There are people that think that George Clooney has a shot to be in Brave and the Bold. I think this was
Oh
a
my god.
one-time thing. This
Batman
was like
Beyond.
get him on set for an hour, walk out of the car, do a couple takes. This was just a fun gag. This is nothing else. For people that think that this is actually like maybe, oh my God,
It's fun.
no, it's just a fun thing. Like Nick Cage playing Superman cameo,
Let it
just
be
a
fun.
fun thing.
That's the thing about these movies. It's like people are going to be asking. It's like Andrew Garfield when he shows up in No Way Home. People are like, "Oh, I can't wait to see Andrew Garfield in the next project." Dude, it ain't happening. Tobey Maguire, man, I can't wait to see him in the next project. It ain't happening. Sometimes it's great for the moment. Enjoy it.
And I will say, I am not the biggest George Clooney fan. Okay, I admire his business aspirations. I admire how good looking he is, and I also anytime he plays a guy in a suit, he kills it. But
You should have
like,
got a better script for Batman.
yeah, like he's just not a good Batman, and I don't want him to be in Brave and the Bold. He looks the part for Bruce Wayne. I'll still take Christian Bale. He looks the part, but no, like we're just not having it.
I'm sorry, I'm distracted by James Gunn just had a quote on why he chose Andy Machete.
Ooh.
And this it has to do with Batman, obviously. And why he chose him, he said, quote, Andy's affinity and passion for these characters in this world just resonates through every frame. There was really only one choice, end quote. Kind of what we were talking about. Passion for the characters, passion for the DC world. And can't wait to see what he does. But Clooney, just accept it for what it is. Don't look into it too deep, right? And it's good that he has another moment as Bruce Wayne, so he's not just remembered for Batman and Robin, which is like literally considered the worst superhero movie ever made, right? Have him be a part of this DC movie that's getting relatively positive reviews from critics, okay? And just a little bit of redemption for the guy, despite him not doing much. He probably had a couple swigs of his tequila right before he jumped on set. Probably was there for 20 minutes. I'm out of there. All of a sudden, people think more positively about him as Bruce Wayne,
Definitely.